updated jacket options, and I can actually throw one of those on right now. People back then were way more formal about their appearance and everything than we are. We're very casual as a society. We're just really casual. Longer skirts were seen as more formal. If you are leaving the house and doing a professional or seeming to have some sort of dignified business to do, visiting, shopping, selling, something like that, you are going to be wearing the best thing you have, the best thing you can afford, the best thing you can do. Again, caveat, if you're English or of English descent. Other ethnic groups that I know are in the backcountry, like the Scotch and the Irish, tended to wear jackets. I'm not exactly sure why. It might be a rejection of English fashion. It might just be because it's a little bit more accessible material-wise because it's expensive. But jackets can be fitted. They're basically, this one, I think I drafted this pattern myself. They're basically like the tops of gowns. They just don't have long skirts. This one's printed cotton. It has little attached ruffles that are just basted on. They come off for laundering. So I'm doing center front closing right now. I'm lapping it over. I do right over left, lapping it, taking my large pin, and I can come a little bit closer to show this, taking my large pin, inserting this way, flipping it like a hairpin, and then burying it in my stays. And I found that that is super secure and will stay all day. You just have to make sure that your jackets are like nice and tight when you do that. Mm-hmm. All right, here I am in a jacket. This is casual wear for a middle class English lady. This is regular wear if you're Scotch or Irish. Germans wear jackets, but they don't necessarily look like this. They have slightly different styling. And I would encourage you, if that is your persona, please go look that up. Yeah, you can wear this with or without an apron, and the apron can go either on top of or below the peplum. So aprons are bigger, wider, longer than people think. The little dainty ones are worn, but they're usually worn by upper class, and they're worn kind of like as a, oh, it's the daytime, I think I'll do my sewing, and I'm gonna sit with this beautiful piece of embroidered muslin on my lap, but it's not huge. Aprons for working class, maids, whatever. They cover your petticoat, because your petticoat or your gown the fabric is an investment. And so this is generally cheaper. It's easy to wash. It doesn't matter if it gets dirty or ragged or whatever. So it should cover as much of your skirt as you're comfortable covering. It can be as long as your petticoat. My petticoats right now are a little bit long. English tended to wear their petticoats a little bit longer. If you're working class, your petticoat might actually, I'm gonna lift this up and show you. Your petticoats might actually be like this long, like mid-calf. And again, that's a practicality thing. If you're going up and down stairs all day, it's not practical to have super long skirts. If you're cooking by a fire that's on the ground, you're gonna catch on fire if your skirts are really long. If you're out plowing in a field, they're just gonna get dirty, so you just cut them off. Certain ethnic groups also tend to wear shorter petticoats. The French are shorter than the English, and the German are shorter than the French. So a German petticoat can be as much as 9 inches off of the floor. And that's totally acceptable. This whole, like, you can't show your ankle thing is a Victorian concept that we've just lopped into old-timey. Aprons. Lower class people tended to wear more colorful aprons. And that is because keeping whites white is rather difficult and requires more laundering than something that's like this. Like if this has a stain on it, whatever. But if it's white and has a stain on it, you can really see it.